Technical and vocational education and training, trades as it's known, is just one way we can embrace the future of the working world, whether it happens online or offline. Tradesmen and tradeswomen everywhere are fully embracing their occupations with professionalism, ethics, and leadership. In spite of everything, it's time for TVET. And in this installment, Ms. Lara Maharaj, Manager of Occupational Standards at the National Training Agency, NTA, helps us to understand more in this area as it relates to TVET.
The NTA develops what are referred to as occupational standards. Okay, and the Occupational Standards and Sector Support Department at the NTA is responsible for the development of those standards. The occupational standards are really competency-based standards, meaning that they outline what are the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that individuals should have in order to function effectively in the workplace. Now, the NTA develops these occupational standards in collaboration with industry because really it is the industry or the employers who could identify what are those competencies or what are the knowledge and the skills and the attitudes that a person should have for the workplace. These occupational standards that we develop on our website, we have two types, the National Occupational Standards and the Regional Occupational Standards. The occupational standards, once they are approved and endorsed locally, are referred to as National Occupational Standards. And these National Occupational Standards are submitted to CARICOM for regional approval. And once they have gained that regional approval, they are referred to as Regional Occupational Standards. And I should say at this point that when we develop standards, we look to develop standards for those sectors that have been prioritized for national development by the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
At the NTA, besides supporting national and regional development of trades, ensuring that institutions hone skillful competency of our craftsmen and women is of crucial importance. Occupational Standards Manager Lara Maharaj shares with us why maintaining these standards are vital to technical and vocational education and training.
The occupational standards are used for the design of the qualifications which are offered by the national training agencies. And these qualifications are the Trinidad and Tobago National Vocational Qualification and the Caribbean Vocational Qualification. Now, when we develop those standards locally, the National Occupational Standards, persons can be assessed against these standards. And once they are deemed competent, they can be offered a qualification, which is the Trinidad and Tobago National Vocational Qualification, or the TTNVQ. Now, once those standards, as I mentioned before, they go through that process where they are approved at the CARICOM level and they are regional occupational standards, persons who are assessed and are deemed competent against these regional occupational standards can be awarded the Caribbean Vocational Qualification. So that is one of the main uses of the occupational standards. A major use right now. But there are other uses as well. Another one is that the occupational standard can be used by training providers to develop and update their curriculum and training programs. So this would ensure that there is a match between what is being taught by the training providers and what the workplace requires.
Ms. Maharaj also indicated how possibly all our major industries and sectors need relatively rigorous occupational standards in this evolving world of work.
For the future, we want to ensure that these standards capture any new employment trends within the sector, the changing needs of the sector, technological advancements of the sector. So this is what is captured in the standard. And this would assist all our stakeholders, whether it's the industry, the training providers, the learners, to identify what are those future skill needs for the future. And it will help to develop the overall development of the sector and ensure that we have higher levels of productivity within the different sectors of the economy.
For more info, visit the National Training Agency's website at www.ntattonline.org. To get ongoing updates, be sure to check out their social media handle at NTA TNT on Facebook, and at NTA_TT on Twitter and YouTube.
This was a production of the Information Division, Government Communications.